Welcome back to Coffee and Conversation with Recovery Advocate Network. Today is a very special day because I welcome you to the very first episode in our Between the Lines blog club series. These episodes are written by guests who prefer to use their written voice instead of their interview voice to share their personal stories. Each author has submitted a blog, and then I, Ange, will read and record it for them. As a reminder, the views expressed in any blog are the views of the author, and the purpose is to provide a safe place for the author's voice to be heard. This first episode deals with gender identity challenges. So, fill up your coffee, sit back, and let's get started. Listeners, it is my honor to read the first of our blog series by a listener of ours. And so I read Trapped, submitted by Shayne. Have you ever gone splunking, cave exploring? I have. The light slowly fades as you walk down into the cavern. It's pitch black. It's fun at first, but then the realization hits you that the space is getting smaller and smaller. Your pace slows, your steps forward and down the slope cautious and tentative. Finally, the space is so small that you must crawl chest pressed against the ground, just mere inches separating your back from the roof. Your arms seem frozen. You are trapped. No one can see you. Everyone believes you're safer there in the cave. Hi, my name is Shayne, and my pronouns are he, they. But only a few know that. I am in the closet with one tentative arm bracing against the doorway to freedom. Not being out, or even being only partially out, is excruciating. I come from a conservative Republican Baptist family. I was part of a small Baptist church in a rural United States family in infancy. Somehow, I still became the gender non-conforming queer dude I am. I am trapped. I am trapped in my family. They are invested and vocal about their faith and morals. They judge any non-heterosexual or non-cisgendered identity as sin and abomination. They turn off the TV when any of these lifestyles are represented. What you have to know is, still, I love them. How can I choose between who I am, who I want to be, how I view the world, who I love, and my family? Maybe you too struggle with your family. Maybe they say hurtful things to you or to others that make your environment uncomfortable or make it unsafe to be who you truly are. Maybe some have told you, just tell them, just come out already. But it isn't safe for you to do so. The walls close in. I am trapped in my social sphere. Community can be so healing, and it can be so traumatizing. In my social sphere, a constant barrage of opinions and racism and ableism and homophobia and transphobia assault me from every side. Those who say they love others spew hate and hurtful words at everyone who is different from them, even in the smallest of ways. Her hair shouldn't be that color or that short. Why doesn't she wear more dresses? How could she let those words, songs, shows, etc. be in her life? Maybe you too face hate around you. You face it with your friends. You face it in your church. You face it in your work environment. You face it with a law. You face it every day you get up knowing another headline, leader, or even friend will say or do something against another person because of their race, their dress, their disability, their sexual identity, their gender identity, their faith, for who they are. The walls close in. I am trapped by my body. It betrays me. It doesn't fit. It doesn't look the way I know it should look. It has the wrong parts. Every month, the gender dysphoria. Every day, trying to find the clothes that will feel right. Every day, looking myself in the mirror and wanting to cry because the body looking back at me isn't mine. Maybe you too deal with body dysmorphia. Maybe since you were young, you felt uncomfortable in your own skin. Maybe the clothes you were supposed to wear don't represent you. Maybe the hair you want isn't allowed. Maybe the name you were given grates on you when you see it or hear it. The walls close in. I am trapped in my shame. The faith, the morals, the judgment, the hate that looms over me is never ending. And the hate starts to become mine. I start to hate myself, my body, my brain, my thoughts, my feelings, my desires, myself. Maybe you too are developing a hate for yourself. Maybe you hide yourself away and isolate from others. Maybe you do things that hurt because you feel disgusted. Maybe you've lashed out at others who don't fit the mold because you don't want to admit who you are. The walls close in. By now, I imagine you're thinking, well, great, that's a very uplifting and inspirational message. Not. But the truth is, I'm approaching 30 and I'm still trapped. And for now, that's how it must be. I write all this so you know you are not alone. I cannot say I know exactly how you feel. I cannot say I've been exactly where you are. I cannot say those things. But I hope this message will let you know that there are others who are hidden and suffering too. So what can we do? What can we who are in impossible situations and traumatizing environments do? We can make our own community. Gravitate in social situations to the people we can trust, the people we can be the most real and safe with, the people who will help us on this journey. We can dare to dream. This is so important for me to think about. If I was to completely free, what would I want? To think about how I feel and who I really want to be, allowing myself to dream, dreaming of unconditional love instead of loneliness. Dream of someone who makes us feel safe and special. We can comfort ourselves and remind ourselves that it's okay to choose safety over identity disclosure for a time. Reminding ourselves that this won't last forever. We can work toward freedom. We can make a plan that will guide us toward the future we want. We must remember that being in the closet doesn't mean our feelings, our thoughts, our desires, our beliefs, our expression, our identity are any less valid or real. I will say it again for everyone like me who has ever been accosted every moment of their days on this earth with the fact that they aren't right and they need to be fixed or hidden. You are not in any way any less valid because you are passing for your own safety and survival. The time to climb out of the cave, the time to blink our eyes as we gaze at the most gorgeous, most bright, most bold sunrise, the time to let ourselves stretch, to feel our arms swing, our feet stomp, our lungs breathe. The time will come. And until then, know this: you are not alone. The time for coming out, transitioning, publicly embracing all of who we are, the time will come for us. Until then, if or when you're ready to stand proud and declare, I know who I am, and you can love and support and celebrate me, or you can just go because I will not be disrespected, dehumanized, or abused by anyone. Know that I will be cheering for you and celebrating your bravery and freedom. And I dream that you will celebrate for me too when the time comes for me. Don't give up hope. You may be trapped now, but one day you and I will come into the light, leaving fear and hiding behind, and let our queerness shine. Just listened to episode number 17, the very first episode in our new series, Between the Lines, Trapped by Shayne. This writing focused mostly on those who are struggling, but it can be used for allies and loved ones of those who come out of the closet. Loved ones can use this writing to help them understand some of the hardships, trauma, and feelings someone who has been in the closet might have been feeling for a long time. It can offer a perspective for allies of the LGBTQIA community. However, always remember that each human's experience, feelings, and identity are unique. Never assume you know what someone has been through, felt, or how they identify. I hope you've been encouraged or learned something from today's story. Look for another reflection by Shayne about eating disorder treatment and recovery coming soon. These episodes are written by guests who prefer to use their written voice instead of their interview voice to share their stories. Each author has submitted a blog, and then I, Ange, will read and record it for them. As a reminder, the views expressed in any blog are the author's views, and the purpose is to provide a safe place for the author's voice to be heard. This first episode dealt with gender identity challenges. I've included the full text in the show notes and on our website. For additional resources on gender identity challenges, check out episode number 7, where Rainbow discusses gender identity and mental health challenges. You can also read the blog post, They, Them, Us, published on our website on March 30th, 2022. In fact, I may even read it on a future Between the Lines episode, so make sure you subscribe today so you don't miss it. If you want to share your experiences or expertise, we encourage you to be a future guest by emailing us at podcast@recoveryadvocatenetwork.org or submit a blog post by emailing blog@recoveryadvocatenetwork.org. We also encourage you to comment on the episode so that we can continue to provide content that is most beneficial to the community. In fact, if you do, we'll even give you a shout out. We are proud that every individual working with RAN does so on a 100% volunteer basis. You can help support the mission by clicking the love, not like, icon on our podcast and subscribe. In fact, the reception of this podcast has blown us away, and hence, we are seeking a volunteer podcast publishing assistant. If you're interested, please email us at podcast@recoveryadvocatenetwork.org. We hope you will also connect with us at www.recoveryadvocatenetwork.org, where you can donate to the mission, read blog posts, and stay in the loop about upcoming events, including our next fundraising auction on October 26th through the 28th of this year. If you want a sneak peek into some available items, contact donate@recoveryadvocatenetwork.org. And if you want to donate items or services, then email us. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Recovery Advocate Network and on Twitter at Rant to Wellness. So, listeners, pause what you're doing right now and subscribe, follow us, give us a 5-star rating, provide some feedback, and finally, share these episodes with your friends. You never know whose heart you will touch. We already have listeners in close to 20 countries around the world. Be a part of the reason someone has new hope today.
If this episode was triggering to you, we encourage you to contact your support system, therapist, national and community support groups, the Global Crisis Text Line by texting 741-741, and/or, if in the United States, dialing 988 to reach the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. If you're in the U.S. and need additional resources such as shelter, support group resources, transportation, food, and/or a safe, confidential path out of physical and/or emotional domestic abuse, call 211 or visit www.211info.org for assistance. Now, we are so grateful you joined us on this very special kickoff episode of the blog series. Excited to provide an opportunity to include all voices in a new format. Thanks for joining us today. So, what are you waiting for? Back to your coffee. We'll see you in the next episode.